So this is a brief screencast video in which I'm going to just repeat a little more slowly and in greater detail the demonstration I gave in class as to how to graph mass versus volume for your density experiment on the aluminum for the lab template. So for the graph that's asked for in the lab report template. So on slide 6 here of the lab report template, says using the data from the class data spreadsheet, plot the data for the whole class for metal A, which was aluminum. I spent some time in class showing how to do this using a scatter plot. So I guess I should say in a little more detail, you want to plot mass on the y-axis and volume on the x-axis because you want the slope of your line to be mass over volume, which is density. So let's go to the spreadsheet. So when you download the spreadsheet from the course website, it would look like this. Remember, I've said that there are 2 tabs. Spreadsheets have tabs, and you can toggle between them down here. So this is the data for 3rd period, and this is the data for 4th period. You toggle between them by clicking these tabs here. So I'm going to be in 4th period today, and so what I want to do is graph mass versus volume so I can get a slope of that line and use that slope as the density from all the tests. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to, and I think I mentioned before, once you have downloaded this spreadsheet from the course webpage, that's your copy of the spreadsheet to mangle any way you like. There is no, it's not a shared spreadsheet. So this is yours to do with as you wish. So I'm going to open a new sheet, which you do by clicking on this plus. Now I'm doing this on a PC. Features of Excel in Apple versus PC are slightly different, but you should be able to find something that correlates with this. Press the plus button. That gives me a new worksheet. I want the mass column and the volume column. I'm going to just, in order to do that, the easiest way to do that is just to select those 2 plus everything in between. I'm going to click on copy. Okay, and then I'm going to go over to my new sheet and I'm going to click and I'm going to select 4 columns here and I'm going to click on paste. Now I only want volume and mass. I don't want the initial and final volumes. So what I do is I highlight those and I go over here and I click on the button that says delete. And you see they're just gone now. The other thing is that when I do a scatter plot in Excel, it's automatically going to treat the first column as the independent variable, which goes on the x-axis, and the second column as the dependent variable, which goes on the y-axis. The thing here is I actually want volume on the x-axis and mass on the y. So I am going to select this. I'm again going to click on copy. I'm going to select column C, click on paste, and then finally I'm going to select column A again and I'm going to delete it. And so in that process, I just essentially swapped positions. So now I have volume in column A, which is going to go on the x-axis, and mass in column B, which will go on the y-axis. I'm going to do one more thing that I pointed out in class the other day, which is I'm going to put in one more data. So this is the 12 data points that were generated from your data. I am going to add one more data point, which is simply 0, 0, assuming, so this is based on the idea that if there was 0 volume, then it would have 0 mass. So you should go ahead and add those in. I'm now going to select both of those columns. I'm going to click on Insert, and I'm going to put in a chart, and specifically I want to use the one that's called a scatter plot. And so it looks like that. When I click on this little arrow on the side, it gives me various options. I want the one that doesn't have any lines, so I'm not looking for any lines to connect anything. I just want the one that just gives the data points without any connecting line. If I click on that, and that gives me the plot of this data, including the 0, 0 point. Now you can, and if you want to, I would encourage you to. So I could say mass to alter these labels. So mass versus volume for aluminum. You can do that. You can also, if I click on the whole chart, I will get a thing here that says add chart element. I can give it axis titles, primary, horizontal, and I can just say volume. Okay. I click on it again, add chart element, axis titles, primary, vertical, and I can click on that and have it say mass. I think I also have the ability to rotate this, but I don't remember exactly how to do that, so I'm not going to sweat that too much. What I really want is a straight line correlation of all these points, and so I'm going to, and that's the key to the whole thing. So I'm going to show you that. I've clicked on the chart again, add chart element, trend line, and I want a linear trend line. So I'm going to click on that. This now gives me a linear trend line. I'm not sure why it suddenly highlighted all these things up here, but I'm not really interested in that. And that's nice. I've got a trend line, but I'd like to know what its equation is. I'm going to go back to add chart element again, trend line, more trend line options. Where are you? More trend line. There you are. Display equation on chart. That now displayed the equation, and that's kind of tiny, so I'm going to make it larger just by highlighting it, going back to home, and changing the size of the font to 14. Remember, this is the equation for that line in the form of y equals mx plus b. M is the slope, and slope in this case is rise over run, so it's mass over volume, which are the units of density. And therefore, okay, so now what you're going to do is just select this whole thing, copy it, and then go to your template and paste it, and there it is. Okay, so that's what you need to do for this slide. And then the other thing is just on the next slide, it asks you make a results table here that includes, and the last point is density of aluminum based on the slope of the scatter plot trend line. So you would just go back and say that the slope is 2.59. So that's everything you need to do. And so now I've just got to figure out how to turn off my screen recorder. But that's everything you need to do. And so thanks for watching. Good luck with your lab report.